What in the world is going on with Cormani McClain?
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free reviews on the podcast. Happy Monday. Happy after 11 years. Happy return of EA Sports College Football 25. Of course, we knew it as NCAA Football 14, but now EA Sports College Football 25 comes out today at 4 p.m. Can't wait for it. I am Brandon Olsen, your gracious host, lifelong Florida Gators fan. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. And Cormani McClain, if you are unfamiliar with the whole story, Cormani McClain was one of the highest rated cornerbacks, if not the highest rated cornerback in the 2023 recruiting class. It felt like it was going to be Florida. It felt like it was going to be Alabama. He committed to Miami. Then little murmurs started happening about, hey, maybe he's not going to go with Miami because he didn't sign with Miami in the early signing period. Then he goes to Colorado. Skull Buffs. He goes with Deion Sanders. And throughout this season, Deion Sanders is publicly going out there and saying, Cormani's not doing what he needs to do. Mani's not doing what he has to do. He's not doing what he should be doing. All this stuff. Then he leaves Colorado. And it's like, well, where is he going to go? Is he going to go to Miami? We hear Florida's not going to want to touch him. Is he going to go to USF? We hear everything you could possibly hear about this. Okay? And then, as it turns out, he walks on to Florida. Billy Napier asked the roster. He's like, "Hey, are you guys willing to accept Cormani?" And I don't know why I said it like this is like it's a cult thing, but are you willing to take Cormani on the team? And they go, "Yep, sure, we'll take him." Then this past weekend, rumors start flying around a little bit, and we didn't pay much attention to them. I sent out a little message to the insider program, which if you want to be a part of that, you heard this news on Saturdays when I sent it out, that, hey, I didn't name him. I just said, hey, I'm hearing that a player or someone might be leaving the team soon. It won't be shocking who it is. And everybody threw out their guesses. And then the first beat writer that I saw say anything about it was Nick De La Torre with On3, Gators Online. And he was like, hey, Cormani's been late to workouts and meetings. The punishment for being late to workouts and late to meetings is that if you are a part of the lift program, then or if you're like doing more of a lift or run kind of thing, then you do whichever one, you get an additional one. So Cormani got an additional lift, and he was late to those. Then, because he continued to be late, the coaching staff went, you know what? He's being selfish. Make the whole defense do extra workouts because of him being late. Because you think, like if other people have to start suffering because of your laziness or because of your poor work ethic, that's on you, right? Like you don't want to do that, have other people suffer for that. However, still nothing changed. Then the whole team had to do extra workouts, which, by the way, like, kind of thank you. If you think about it, if you think about it, he's helping the entire team because we know that the strength and conditioning program wasn't great. So the previous strength and conditioning program wasn't great. So he's helping them by getting extra lifts in and helping them get more physically fit. They lift more. Maybe you get your squat up, your bench up, whatever it is, right? But no, realistically, just when I'm not just making fun. Cormani McClain still never got right. Like, and he's a Gator at this time being, or at least at the time of recording this, late on Sunday night. He is a Florida Gator. I don't know what it means for his status on the team, but again, this is Cormani McClain late to workouts got punished with extra workouts, was late to those, or late to workouts and meetings, was punished for those by getting extra workouts, didn't go to those. Whole defense got punished. He still didn't, or he went a bit late. Then the whole team gets punished and still nothing's changed. Like, that's something, right? So that's the reporting of Nick De La Torre from Gators Online. And that's the story that we've heard there. Jacob Rudner with 24/7 kind of confirmed it, or said something similar along those lines. I don't know what it means for his status on the team. Okay, I reached out to someone, and to my knowledge, no concrete decision has been made here. Okay, to my knowledge, no concrete decision has been made in either way, whether he stays or goes. But that's to my knowledge. Again, this is late Sunday night. That's what I've heard. I will say this. I don't think anybody should be surprised, right? This is something where, going back to his high school days, we've heard complaints about the work ethic, about being late to meetings, late to workouts, late to whatever it may be. We heard those complaints. Going to Colorado. And Deion Sanders, who, by the way, I'm not defending Deion in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying Deion Sanders is a role model. I'm not saying any of that. Okay? What I am saying is that Deion Sanders, the head coach at Colorado, was going in press conferences, and the media would go, "Hey, why isn't Cormani McClain playing more?" And what does Deion say? Cormani's not doing what he needs to do. He wasn't even really he wasn't even going into too much detail. He would just be like, "Hey, Cormani's not doing what Cormani needs to do to get Cormani on the field." That's really what it is, right? And that never changed. And when he committed to Florida, what did we say here? What did we say on the show? I'm excited for the potential. I am not going to get my hopes up. And I didn't this whole offseason when the hype train started picking up. Never. Because you know why we don't do that? Same reason I said it when he committed. And he's still a Gator. And if he can get his head on straight, I think he could be really good. But how often do we see these 5-star kids where we hear, oh, they've got work ethic issues? How often do those kids really turn it around? Because my stand, and I say this as someone who through high school, I slacked off. I get it. I get being a kid. I graduated high school, 10 years ago. I graduated high school 10 years ago. I know what I did when I was a high school senior, junior, everything. I know what I did. I know what I did my early years of college. I get it. I didn't work super hard. What happened was I found something that I was passionate about, and that changed my entire work ethic. That changed my work ethic. You got to find something that you're passionate about. And if it's not football, then that's not going to change your work ethic, right? That's my stance on it, at least. That's where I come in, where I go, yeah, you've been playing football. You're a 5-star. You don't have a good work ethic. I don't think that that's something that just happens for you while you're still in that space. It's just where I stand on it. And again, I understand that those talking about Napier saying never should have taken Cormani. This is a whiff. The move was desperation move, whatever it may be. End of the day, it was a preferred walk-on swing with NIL involved. So it's not completely no investment, but preferred walk-on swing with NIL involved. So there was still some kind of investment there at a premium position for a 5-star kid with high upside, where you gave him a shot. That's a big thing. You went, hey, change of scenery for you. We'll give you a blank slate, but you've got to earn this. Because the blank slate of forgetting the bad means that we're going to go blank slate and forget the good of what you were in high school too. And we're going to give you this blank slate, and you earn it, and we'll give that to you. And it didn't work out. But I'm not going to fault Napier that much for giving a preferred walk-on swing to a 5-star corner that's a year removed from being that 5-star. Does it suck? Yeah, it does. But if this is the end of Cormani with the Florida Gators, then this is the end of Cormani with the Florida Gators by his own doing, by all reports that we've heard, by his own doing. I just can't fault. I can't fault Napier there as a head coach. Like premium talent, premium position, premium upside, preferred walk on. Yeah, you take that. I can't fault Napier for that. We are going to talk about potentially brighter things because it's time to talk about Florida Gators recruiting. With passion, drive, and patience, that's the formula for winning championships, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. With superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your parts guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash for the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions applied. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. And just a couple of recruiting tidbits here, really about two players. One, wide receiver Vernell Brown III. He is committing this coming Sunday. And we talked about this a bit more in depth last week. We're not going to go too in depth today. Just say Vernell Brown III, priority receiver, legacy for Florida, committing this Sunday, July 21st. And as of late Sunday night on July 14th, I spoke to someone this past weekend, and they still feel pretty good about where Florida stands on landing him. And I will say that I feel like the legacy thing gets thrown around a lot where, and I say this, I think maybe legacy is not so much a good thing anymore because I think just, it's going to sound so old, but I think kids today now, like they want to go out and do something different. Like I think a lot of kids now, you can go, oh, like you got to go to Florida. I was a Gator. You got to go to Ohio State. I was a Buckeye. I think a lot of kids now hear something like that and go, now I don't want to. Like I think that's one thing with just what recruiting is. Again, I'm not saying it's good or bad. That's not my stance on it. My stance is just I think that's a lot more common nowadays than people recognize. However, that being said, this is absolutely a whiff if you don't land Vernell Brown III. It is. There's just no other way I can look at it. Like even a kid like Ben Hanks Jr., like you can not get him, and I don't go, oh, that's a huge whiff. But Vernell Brown III, I think of it as a whiff if you don't land him. Grandfather, father, his dad was working here the 2022 season, and he didn't leave on bad terms either. It's not like he was fired. It's not like he was let go. No. His dad left because his dad went to go be part of Anthony Richardson's camp. That's why he left. There was no bad blood. There was no firing. There was nothing bad between Vernell Brown Jr. and the Florida Gators. Vernell Brown Jr. was here when Vernell Brown III was on his official visit in June to Gainesville. This is, if you don't get him, a whiff. I don't care if you say, oh, it's NIL. Oh, it's this. This is a kid that grew up a Gator. Like born, he was a Gator before he was born. He was bred a Gator. Like this is a whiff if you don't land him. It's as simple as that. And again, I will say, right now, a week before the commitment, feel pretty good about it still. Things can change. It's recruiting in 2024. Things can change up to like an hour before things happen. Honestly, wouldn't jive if things could change 2 minutes before at all. But right now, and for the past few weeks, Florida's feeling pretty good. Then there's linebacker Ty Jackson, who top linebacker in the country on 3. He took a visit, an unexpected, or not even unexpected. It was on a Monday, if I'm not mistaken, during June. I think it was that June 21st weekend. That Monday, he goes, I'm going to visit Florida this week. He scheduled an official visit to Florida that week, went on the visit. By all accounts, went pretty well. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Florida State visit that he canceled to go on this Florida visit. And it got announced yesterday by On 3 that Ty Jackson will be visiting Florida again in late July. I believe the weekend of the 27th is when they're going to be here. I don't know if that means they get here the 27th, 26th. It's going to be an unofficial visit, so not really sure on the timeline there. But Ty Jackson is visiting in late July. Ty Jackson has said that he's planning on more visits in the fall, including maybe even that week 1 game against the Miami Hurricanes, hosting Miami, which I bought my tickets for this weekend. Just going to say that. I will be in section 16. Section 16, row 1. I don't know seat or anything like that, but section 16, row 1 is where I'll be. If you're going to be at the game, let me know. But with Ty Jackson, I fully believe that this is one of those recruits where we talk about he kind of wants to be a Gator, but he's kind of got to see what's going on here. I think Ty Jackson is one of those recruits where you say, hey, if you win football games, you have a very good chance of landing the commitment. I'm not saying every recruit. I don't think that it's as simple as, oh, well, if you win football games, all the kids you've been recruiting, they're going to want to go join you. I don't think it's that simple. And I don't think it's that naive. However, I do think that Ty Jackson is one of those kids where you see what Florida puts on the field. They win enough games. And again, for each recruit, that's going to be different. It's not like you're going to be talking about 6 recruits and you go, oh, you won your 6th game, I commit. Like, it's not going to be as simple as that. They're going to need to see you through the whole season, probably. For a lot of them, going to need to see you through the whole season. Going to need to see how you perform on that side of the ball. Like, Ty Jackson's not going to want to come here if the linebacker plays poor. Because right now, linebacker is one of your most talented rooms on the entire roster. If you're looking at rankings and everything, he's the number 1 linebacker in the country. He's going to look at how you've coached up and developed that position. And if you're not doing it well, then he's not going to want to come here. Like Shamar, Pop Howard, Miles Graham, Aaron Childs, all very high-ranking linebackers that you've added in the Napier tenure. Like, you got to land these kids. Or you've got to develop these kids so that you can land kids like Ty Jackson. I do think that Ron Roberts joining the staff will help with linebacker recruiting in general. It was really good last year, but I do think that having someone that helps develop the game plan will help linebacker recruiting because he can, similar to how I say Russ Callaway helps recruiting every position on offense because he has a hand in the game plan. He could say, hey, I can make sure that you get used in this way. And that's huge. And speaking of, I can make sure you get used in this way, EA Sports College Football 25 is out. To wrap up today's show, I just wanted to have a little fun with this, right? Because EA Sports College Football 25 has come out. That game, like, I know it used to be called NCAA football. It's now come out in 11 years, but it's here today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And first off, I will be running a Florida Gators dynasty on my other channel, which is Whole Nine Sports, WHOLENINE Sports. We will be running a Florida Gators dynasty there. But I have a bone to pick with some of the ratings. Don't even have all the ratings yet. But I have a bone to pick with some of the ratings. First off, it felt a little lazy to just put both tight ends as a 78 overall. And I'm the kind of guy where I say, hey, like, I don't think it's necessarily one's better than the other. It just felt, I don't know, it felt lazy to go, oh, starting tight ends, both of them play a lot, give them the same overall. Let them decide whatever it may be. Sure, whatever. I'm not that type, but is what it is. But also they did Hayden, and I know this is not unbiased at all. They did Hayden Hansen dirty. They gave him 70 speed. 70. I've on record. And to him, I've been like, hey, yeah, no, not super nimble, but fast, not nimble, not agile. 70 speed? I get it if you put his agility that low or even lower, but speed? Come on now. He clocked this offseason. Arliss Boardingham clocked 21.1 miles per hour on the GPS. Okay? Hayden hit 20.9. I'm not even saying like, oh, Hayden should be as fast as Arliss. I'm just saying speed is a thing that we have in the tight end room for the University of Florida. Okay? I just want to throw that one out there. Speed's a thing. They got that. Also, they're kind of just all over the place. Cormani McClain, who, yeah, we're talking about him again. Cormani McClain is an 82 overall. Cormani McClain is an 82 overall. Jason Marshall's an 89. Cormani McClain's an 82 overall. I understand it. 5-star last year. Arch Manning's at 87, even though he has like 30 yards, if that, in his college career, brief college career. But Cormani, like Arch didn't play. So I understand the 87 of going, well, this is what we would have made him if he was a true freshman and he didn't play. Or we would have made him an 84 and he didn't play. We're going to assume awareness stuff. He got a little better, whatever it may be. But Cormani did play last year and wasn't good. But an 82. A fake linebacker. I got these ratings from C4 on YouTube. I realized the noise I just made was just like a mess. But I got these ratings from C4 on YouTube. He did a Dynasty sim. And at one point, he was looking at the linebacker room. Deuce Spurlock was like the fourth linebacker, middle linebacker. It was Shamar, Miles Graham, Derek Wingo, some other guy, and then Deuce. So Deuce is actually 5. That's rough. But Deuce is actually the 5th highest rated linebacker. However, it was Shamar, Miles Graham. I'm assuming Pup Howard was one of the outside linebackers. Shamar, middle linebacker. Miles Graham at like 78 overall. Shamar's like an 84. Miles Graham is like a 78. Derek Wingo's like a 77. Then there's some guy that's 73. A guy that isn't real, a fake human being, is a 73. And then Deuce Spurlock's a 72. And I just felt like that was grimy. Honestly, I'm not even saying Deuce is awesome. I'm just saying that's grimy to put a fake player better than an actual player. They should be like 60s. Just that's my take on it. But also, DJ Lagway, absolute cheat code. I've said that we will be running a Florida Gators dynasty, and we will be running it Napier style, Napier-esque, just with a few adjustments. But I'd imagine that most, and I do mean most, Florida Gators fans that start a dynasty on EA Sports College Football 25 will immediately start DJ Lagway. 80 overall, great throw power, speed. Like if you look at the C4 video where he's playing the dynasty, he plays like a couple of moments in it, and he's just outrunning defenders. Just straight up outrunning them. Was 3rd in Heisman voting and simulating with DJ Lagway. It was just freaking nuts. DJ Lagway looks like a cheat code in this game. Tank Hawkins is 97 speed. Aiden Mizell, 96. I'm just saying, I know that the overalls aren't good. There's some ratings that are wonky, or a lot of ratings that are wonky, if we're being honest. But Florida Gators fans, it'll be fun to play with the Gators in EA Sports College Football 25. Just saying, it'll be fun. Nice to make Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon, X, whatever you want to call it, at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with Giants Country NFL 33, and I'll see you all next time.